Gerard.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. And just on behalf of the SDLP, can I also thank the Minister for his work in quite difficult circumstances, given the challenges around higher and further education. Could I ask the Minister, given his earlier comments about support specifically for part-time undergraduate students, which is very, very welcome, does he envisage that there will be support coming forward in the new mandate, particularly for our postgraduate students, and given the importance of that to our economy, taking it forward?
Well, thank the member for his comments. We've already discussed the issue of part-time study, but also that there's a need for us to also encourage more and more people to engage in postgraduate study. Already we have a number of studentships which are awarded through the universities, which will support people primarily to do PhDs, and that's important. And we've seen some major developments over the past number of years in terms of where Northern Ireland stands in terms of the Knowledge Index, which rates the number of PhDs per capita across the 12 different regions of the UK. There's a very particular issue that's facing us all across the UK in terms of how we encourage more people to do taught masters. We have also consulted on this, and subject to receiving Treasury approval within the next couple of weeks, it is my intention to make a similar announcement that we have done in relation to part-time study, in relation to masters study within the next number of weeks.
Gerard for supplementary.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker, and can I thank the Minister for his answer. In overall terms, Minister, do you think that there is any potential for this to affect the broader levels of support that are available for students overall, both graduate and postgraduate?
What we're proposing in relation to part-time and potentially in relation to masters is additional to the existing student support regime. What we're hoping to do is to access the loans through the Treasury through the annual managed expenditure, and that's the particular sign-off that we're just waiting for before we can proceed with any formal announcement in relation to supporting postgraduate study. There is a much wider issue in terms of student support and its sustainability. I think there is a broad consensus in the Assembly that we want to facilitate students as best we can, and that we don't want to tinker with the student support system, whether we're talking about the levels of tuition fee loans or whether we're talking about things like maintenance grants. However, that does come at a price because the money is not to be spent in England on those. We don't get the Barnett consequentials coming across, so we have to find those resources out of our own budgets. So there's always an ongoing challenge to ensure that we are directing the necessary investment into our different institutions. We have fallen short in that regard over the past number of years, and I have deep concerns around the sustainability of our higher education system as a result of this. So some very difficult decisions will have to be taken, and it does look likely that the most viable political route for the Executive is to ensure that we are directing sufficient resources into the system more directly, as they've sought to do in Scotland. But that will be a challenge, and it has to be an immediate priority for the incoming Executive in May.